I'm wondering if they continued on with a different name and continued on with I just can't see them stopping Project Bluebook. I mean, they can change the name and scrap that one, but I'm sure they're still gathering information like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I think they probably are. And, for example, what I worked on was satellite photography. And I would imagine that they have good ways, probably satellites up now that take videos with good resolution and that can cover a whole part of the Earth and look at wherever they want to look. And I imagine they're collecting information on UFOs that way.
I wouldn't doubt it because, let's face it, if you go on even Google and you want to see a picture of your property, right, you can zoom in to the point you can actually read the license plate off of your car. And that scares me. That's how good technology is. So it tells me that what we see now, what I can see, tells me that they have something even probably more superior than that the military uses to maybe track these UFOs and it's scary from that standpoint. I hope eventually there'll be a way that the government comes out and maybe discloses that there is other life out there, but they have to do it now in such a way it's not going to scare the public. That's the only problem, because they have lied so long and so much and covered up so much and destroyed people's lives too. I mean, there's been a lot of people in the UFO community had their lives destroyed because of the government. They were talking too much and they did what they could to destroy their person's reputation, or some people have actually gone missing over it.
Yeah, and they haven't hesitated to, if somebody reports a good UFO sighting, to say, this is Venus or something when it isn't anything like Venus, and to make people look crazy.
Well, yeah, but I think something is going on, and we've talked about this a lot on my show. Back a few years ago, the two pilots from the Navy off the Nimitz, off of California, chased a UFO. They kicked on their afterburners. They did everything they could do, and the UFO just walked away from them. And, they even got a little bit of video of that. Now, then after that, about 2 years later, then we had the secretary of our Air Force to the graduating cadets. Out of the clear blue moon, he says, the next war, you should be prepared, because the next major war will not be a war on our planet. It'll be out in space. Now, this is the secretary of the Air Force says this to the graduating cadets. Then 2 months later, we have our president saying he wants to create a space force. And he's him and hawed around, even using the words to protect our planet in some of his little talks. Who knows? But now I guess it's up to the Air Force to do it if they get the funding to create it. But it makes me wonder if we have already had a space force in place for a long time, and they realize that they can't keep it covered up much longer, or something out there is going on that, they just maybe give the information to people slower. Okay. If they said, hey, we're going to be invaded one of these days by such and such, people would mass panic. But if they do it gradually, hey, we're creating a space force, we're doing this and doing this, and then if it leaks out, something is going on, I think maybe they can control the population a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's sort of not a good idea, because there's lots of geniuses in the world, and if we're in danger or anything, it would be better if people knew about it, because that way you'd have lots of brains figuring out. There might be nothing you can do about it, but trying to figure things out. And now, if everybody's blind, well, there's no way to understand it or try to figure out things to do with it.
Well, maybe there is people right now trying to figure it out, some of these brains. But, before Stephen Hawkins passed on, he made the statement a lot the last year of his life. He kept saying to all the world governments, stop broadcasting our address out in space. You don't know who might come knocking on your door. And basically he's saying, you don't know what's going to happen. The dumbest thing we can do is broadcast, right? Let's say you just got your paycheck, right? And you got on Facebook and told everybody your address right where you live. Well, you know what? You might have somebody that might want your money and it's going to come knocking on your door. Well, it's the same thing. We're giving our address where our planet is. And you don't know who could come knocking on our planet's door.
Well, I don't think that'd be important because, we're seeing planets around stars a long ways away. And any group that's very advanced would kind of know we're here for a long ways away across the universe, just because, if they had advanced astronomy, they would know we're here, and they would probably know, that we have water, and we're a blue planet, and there's a good chance that this form of life is here. I think that Earth has been here for 4 billion years, and for 4 billion years, things across the universe that were advanced would know we were here. So I'm not too worried about that.
Well, you never know what's out in the next galaxy, what's out in the next solar system. We're sending out signals that might take years to get there, but maybe somebody might catch it. But, last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about where you can get your great books from, is Mary Joyce runs a reporting center out of North Carolina, cashiers.com. And she does a reporting about, UFOs and Bigfoot, and stuff like that. She's a ex-newspaper reporter. She has a lot of credibility behind her. And she claims in North Carolina there's an underground base, and she's got this information from somebody that has high clearances, top secret clearances, high as you can have, and claims that there is aliens working with the military sharing technology. But she said these group of aliens are not the type you want to find at nighttime. These are the type of aliens that are supposedly giving our technology in exchange of something, are the type that like humans. Like when you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac. And, that makes me wonder about things there too. Would our government stoop so low to sacrifice human lives for technology?
Well, yeah, you don't know, and you don't know whether people would have any choice about it either, because we might be like little mice or insects that, to them that, we just don't count.
No, the same way when you walk out your porch, right, and you step on a caterpillar, you go, oh, I just goosed a caterpillar. You don't think much of it for more than a split second. Then you walk out to your car or go to your whatever you're doing. I mean, they could be looking at us. If they're so far advanced, they look at us maybe the same way as we look at those insects that hit your windshield when you're driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway.
Yeah, that's what we have to consider on that. So it's hard to say. And then we're doing terrible things to animals, too. So we can't be too, it's sort of hypocritical if we're doing terrible things to animals, but then they're doing that to us. We shouldn't.
Yeah, that's scary. Now, Iren, do you have a website people can go to and visit and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's irenescott.com, and if you just put in Iren Scott, it should pop up.
And where can they find your books? And again, I want you to list each book, and where can they find them?
Okay. It's easy to find because put in irenescott.com or Iren Scott, and my website will pop up. And then I have my books listed immediately on the website with pictures of them. All you do is click on whatever book you might want, or all of them, and it goes directly to Amazon.com where you can order them.
Okay.
So it's really easy to get them.
And can they also go to Amazon.com? For those people who love Amazon.com, can they go directly there and order your books?
Yes, they can.
Okay. Now, let's list each book where they can write it down so they can check it out.
Okay. My first book is called UFOs Today, 70 Years of Lies, Misinformation, and Government Cover-Up by Iren Scott. My second book is called Inside the Lightning Ball, Scientific Study of Lifelong UFO Experiencers. And my third book is Sacred Corridors, Secrets Behind the Real, Project Bluebook, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Roswell, Battelle, Memory Metal, Dr. J. Allen Hynek, and UFO Cover-Ups.
Okay. Now, are you planning to write any more books about UFOs and aliens and things like that?
Yeah, I'm on another one. It's coming along.
Oh, great.
This one would be about, have you heard of Pascagoula, that abduction?
I vaguely remember it, yes.
Well, it's about things that happened at the same time as it. And it's about that there was a big flap, and I've collected a lot of information that there was a big sound that was heard over a wide area. And at the same time, there was just a big surge of UFOs suddenly appearing. And I was going into detail about the flap and whether there was good scientific evidence for UFOs and that sort of thing in the book.
That sounds like it'd be a very interesting read when you get that done, and you got to come back on the show and tell us about that. But you know what? There's still a lot of reports of booming type sounds coming from the earth, and it's weird areas it's coming from. I'm just wondering if they're working on their underground bases or what. I'm not saying aliens at this point, or if the government's expanding their underground bases or something, because this has been going on for years. But people, again, are starting to say they're starting to hear these big booms and stuff like that and ground shaking.
Well, that's what was interesting about this is there was this huge boom that went over quite a few states. And it's unexplained, but also at the same time it happened, there were all these UFO sightings that suddenly happened at the same time. I mean, just like people were going through their normal life, and suddenly there's all these UFO sightings that happened about the same time, just big noise. And that's what I'm trying to get more details about and writing about is how huge the noise was and how it might have been the second largest sound ever heard by humans.
Very interesting.
But nobody studied it.
Well, hey, our time is up. Iren, I want to thank you for coming on Night Dreams Talk Radio. If you want, in the next day or two, I can send you a link of the show, and you can put it up on your website if you want. And, hey, I want to, again, thank you for coming on my show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and you're very interesting to talk to.
Or strange. But, I want to thank you. And you have a great evening, Iren.
You do, too.
Okay. Take care.
You do too. Thanks.
Okay, bye. Yeah. Now, if you have had a sighting of UFOs and you want to maybe talk about it on my show, you can certainly contact me personally by going to nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Tell your friends about Night Dreams Talk Radio. If you want to maybe donate $1 or $2 on our website, you can certainly go on to www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Yeah, we're on radio stations, but the deal I got when we're on a station is that, they can put their commercials in. That's when we go now to that 3-minute break on the hour. But I'm not going to put any commercials. I'm trying not to put any commercials on the internet. So, you can listen to the show and not get stuck with commercial. We can go, I try to give you in a 2-hour show what a normal 3-hour talk show is in a 2-hour show. So again,